Tonight, in his final report looking at life behind the scenes at Manchester Airport, he realises his dream. But first, we go out on runway patrol.
The runway stretches for nearly 10,000 feet, that's almost 2 miles, and it has to be inspected 5 times a day. Gordon Griffiths is out FOD hunting.
FOD is a term used by the airports to describe foreign object damage. It's generally to the sort of everyday person, it is litter.
What else do? You have to look after the whole of the airfield?
Yes, the Airfield Operations Department looks after the integrity of the airfield, not just the runway, but the taxiway and all the operating aircraft areas. We adopt a long grass policy here, which is strictly controlled, and the benefit of that is that it's been proven that bird migration, bird habitation do not like long grass, and because of that then we keep it to a regulated height of between 6 and 8 inches.
You actually have to scare the birds away, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have a dedicated bird control unit who over the years have reduced the amount of bird hazards at Manchester Airport to the point now where we are below the national average.
As a child, Julie Bailey would cycle to the airport to watch planes take off and land. Once a social worker and policewoman, the mother of 2 is the only female marshaller, delicately guiding aircraft weighing up to 500 tons in all weathers, day and night.
Something I've always wanted to do. Julie, you marshal the aircraft. The table tennis mats, come on, how do you do it?
Right, if you want an aircraft to turn right, you put your left arm down and
left arm out.
Your right arm.
You move the right arm.
And hopefully the captain will do as you say and turn right. If you want him to move left, you put your right arm down and move him to your left arm.
Now what does that mean? Because I said they do that a lot, don't they?
Yeah.
What
that
do you
means
mean?
straight on.
Straight on.
And then if you want to stop him, then you put your backs up straight. To stop him, you cross your back. And then cut his engines.
Cut.
And then give him a little wave and off you go.
And marshalling aircraft is not the only unusual job she undertakes. Julie also steers the huge air bridges into position. Now, if you happen to be disabled, then travelling by air at one time may have meant the indignity of being carried physically onto an aircraft. Not anymore, though, because there are special lifts when required, and Manchester provides minders for wheelchair users. It's a popular approach.
I can walk a bit, you know, I can walk up the steps of the airplane, but I wouldn't come if I didn't have this service.
Another expanding and popular development at airports like Manchester is the provision of the creche for the young travellers.
So I suppose the biggest fear is that the parents will go off on holiday and leave them with you.
Oh, we've got no chance of doing that, no chance of doing that. If they don't come back, then we put a call out for them. We've got never had anybody being left yet, touch wood.
Do you get children who don't want to leave?
Oh yes, what we call them reluctant departees. I think when they come in here, they are on holiday.
What are your tips as a nursery nurse for parents bringing children to the airport?
Well, I would definitely say an extra set of clothes, just in case you have any accidents, and toys and food, and plenty of drinks, because the airport is very warm, and children, when they're excited and that, can get very dehydrated, and it will make them even worse on the plane.
And airports can make people famous, if only for a few seconds.
Who's Paul?
Paul's our son.
Where's he been?
Australia.
So, for how long?
He's been there for 12 months backpacking.
Tearful reunion there.
We think so, yeah.
You've been waiting here all morning as well?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd wait forever.
Now, I'm the sort of traveller who considers himself business class, but can only afford economy.
Could Trevor Green of Granada...
Kathy MacDonald. I'm 31 years old and a captain with British Airways. And this is the aircraft that I fly. I started to be interested in flying when I was very young. My father was in the Air Force, and from that I was always around airplanes and I was always interested. When I got to the age of 16 or so, I started to do some gliding and then a little bit of power flying. So really, from quite a young age, I was interested in doing something to do with aviation for my career for the rest of my life.
Target morning, shuttle in Foxtrot with you, established and descending on the glide slope.
041 the course. I'm looking at Rose and the speeds are best guess set. 5,000 feet is the stop height, with the runway heading 237. There are some disadvantages. If you want to be at home every evening, if you don't want to work unusual hours, then it's not going to be the job for you. It can be disruptive to your home life and to your social life as well. You can see the track out that way after the market West Night. Are we fairly clear when we turn towards the south?
All the way around, actually. Target morning, shuttle in Foxtrot with you, established and descending on the glide slope.
People do see it as very glamorous, but I think they only see a very limited view when they say that. It isn't as glamorous as it's seen as being. Depending on which fleet you're on, you can go to some very nice destinations, but at other times you could be going to others that really you probably couldn't normally bother to visit. The public do perceive this as very much a male-dominated job, and it is. But it's a nice job in that your ability is on display every day. So people don't knock you just because you're female or for some silly reason. In 6 years of flying, I've never come across any sexism. And it's not a job to worry about as a woman. It requires no additional strength. It requires the skills that most women do have.
My name's Louise and I'm going to be your arrival transfer representative this morning down to the fantastic resort of Malia.
Repping isn't a glamorous job, basically because it's really hard work and you're doing a lot of unsociable hours. One of the downsides when you meet lots of awkward people, because it can be hard work.
Right, she said if she has any grief off you tonight, you're out tomorrow. Alright, see you later.
I loved repping, but basically I wanted to do something else. As a travel agent in England, I sell dreams. That's what I do. That's what I think I do anyway. If you work 50 weeks of every year for a 2-week holiday and you come in a shop with £200 or £2,000 in your pocket, you've got a dream in your head. And my idea of my job is that I make that dream come real. As long as you're not bothered about a job with good pay, but with many other benefits, meeting new people, seeing the world, possibility of learning other languages, just go for it and work hard.
I'm Stephen Smith, I'm 33 years old. I'm a cabin steward in an airline. I used to be a motor mechanic and now I'm a sandwich mechanic. The things I enjoy most though is meeting the people, but it's going somewhere different, being away from home. A glamorous job? Not really, no. If they want to come up and have a go, they should come up for a day and see how glamorous it is. It's hard work. When I first started, I was the only male steward with the fleet. At first you get a bit of stick off the rest of the girls, but then they were okay when they get to know you. Some days you get awkward passengers. Not always towards myself, sometimes it'll be even with one of the ladies, they get the stick off the passenger. Or, you know, it's usually the old ladies that have a go at me. Everybody else is usually fine. All you need is somebody to say thank you at the end of the trip, and it makes your day.